A report from Town Council on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, January 4th, 2013. I'm Sarah Colvin. Town Council met last night for just about an hour and a half and got down to business quite quickly. Town Council Vice President Jessica Rapp-Grassetti, wearing her Historic Commission hat, outlines a proposed change that will affect that committee.
Amendment to the ordinance proposes to clarify some of the original language, adding an administrative procedure to streamline the process and bring the regulatory timeframes into alignment with other land use permitting, adding an expiration date and lengthening the time of demolition delay to 18 months. The Historic Commission's intent in lengthening the time of demolition delay is to engage owners of historic resources in the process of preserving those buildings and structures. And I will say that I'm wearing a separate hat tonight as chairman of the Historical Commission. And I've been on that commission for 8 years, going on 9 years. And through my involvement on the commission, it's come up regularly that because of the way the chapter is written now, if we hold a meeting and someone comes in for a demolition delay the next day, that delay has to be responded to within 7 days, making it very difficult oftentimes to gather enough of the commission members to hear a new delay. So this would streamline that process. It would also put into the hands of the chair of the commission and or its designee the ability to put people on the agenda at a regularly scheduled meeting rather than sometimes meeting 3 times a month, which makes it very difficult in a volunteer board.
That measure passed unanimously. Council also weighed in on a $90,000 port security grant. Director of Community Services Lynn Poyant explains the planned use of funds.
For Environmental Affairs, the Harbor Master's Office has applied for and been awarded its 6th consecutive port security grant. And I want to give credit to Joe Gibbs, our moorings officer and assistant harbor master, who has been the one that's diligently been working on all of these grants for us over the years. Also with us today is our MEA director and harbor master Dan Horn. So this is, as I said, the 6th consecutive port security grant in the amount of $90,000. 25% or $30,000 is required as a match. The funds would be used for overtime staffing of additional on-the-water patrols for both 2013 and 2014, purchase of spare camera equipment for our system, and add an additional camera in Hyannis Harbor and expand our camera system to the 3 bays area, which would cover West Bay Bridge and the Katuitt Town docks. Fiscal impact, 25% of matching funds required in the amount of $30,000. This will allow us to have the additional on-the-water presence and expand our monitoring capability, have spare equipment in case of malfunction. With limited on-the-water staff, these cameras will allow us to remotely view these areas as well as review the video in the event of an incident.
That grant was accepted by Town Council. Another marina-related item was discussed next. That was the acceptance of a grant to help pay for a new commercial pump-out station at Hyannis Harbor. Town Manager Tom Lynch explains that $400,000 is available to Bay State Downs through a coastal remediation grant program.
The goal of this grant program, which is administered by the Massachusetts Office of Coastal Zone Management, is to improve coastal water quality by reducing or eliminating non-point sources of pollution, the leading cause of water quality impairment in the nation. The grant program complements the Commonwealth's effort to designate all Massachusetts coastal waters as a no-discharge area, an NDA, prohibiting the discharge of both treated and untreated boat sewage waste. Barnstable's grant in the amount of $27,575 covers 75% of the cost to survey and design a stationary pump-out station for commercial vessels. The pump-out facility will be located to serve vessels which operate out of Hyannis Harbor. Commercial vessels plying the waters of Nantucket Sound, particularly those carrying passages from Hyannis Harbor to Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, presently discharge sanitary waste into the Sound. The recent approval of the South Cape Cod and Islands NDA has highlighted the gap in the areas designated. This grant to provide a vessel pump-out facility will go a long way to closing the gap, minimizing discharge in the heart of Nantucket Sound. And the matching 25% will be in-kind services that will be provided from staff in the amount of $9,200.
MEA Director and Harbor Master Dan Horn talks about a pump-out station for recreational vessels that's already in place at the town marina at Barnstable Harbor.
It's for recreational vessels. All our pump-out program that we operate is funded in part by the Clean Vessel Act, which was set up for recreational vessels. And vessels, up to a certain, not the larger commercial vessels that we're talking about here. So at Barnstable Harbor, it is, as all our pump-out services, both sides, they're free. You can call us, call on landline, or call us when we're out in the boats, and we'll arrange for somebody to help you out and pump out.
That grant was accepted unanimously. Town Council also heard communications from Town Manager Tom Lynch.
Would just like the council to know that we have had continued meetings with the school superintendent and the chief of police and the finance department over school safety. We did that last Thursday and again today. And we've also been talking about their capital improvement plan. On January 17th, there will be the update of the joint meeting of the school committee and the town council, and at that time we will be providing an update on the progress made in terms of any school safety issues for the benefit of both the school committee and for the town council. Also, next Friday you will have in your boxes the 10-year forecast that's been in draft form. We've been reviewing that, and it should be in your boxes on Friday the 11th. We received a $25,000 grant from the Patrick M. Butler Charitable Foundation, and they noted in their letter that this year it's the intention of the fund that $25,000 be used to the extent possible to provide scholarships for programming for children, youth, and families who would not otherwise be able to use the facilities or participate in programs due to cost. And we thank the Patrick M. Butler Charitable Fund for that contribution. I was notified by the Barnstable County Home Consortium that the individual we had serving as our designee, the term was up. I have asked Sandra Perry to continue on as the representative at the Barnstable County Home Consortium, and she has agreed to do that. I had a couple of calls from councilors on snow removal and issues. I want you to know that after each storm, we do sit down and evaluate, how we conducted the storm. We have some issues around some sidewalk cleaning and whatever that we're going to look into, and we'll continue to do that.
Lynch talked about the first year of the Citizens Resource Line.
I also want to remind members that 1 year ago we established the Citizens Resource Line in our Consumer Affairs Division, and that phone line has, through the good work of Zoning Enforcement Officer Robert Anderson and Ellen Swinoski, the Site Plan Review Coordinator, assisted over 140 callers last year, and included questions around land use, property and code questions. They also handle calls regarding police matters, tree pruning, public and private property, fences, snow and ice complaints, voting location, how to dispose of a deceased animal, and even a liquor license question. So that number remains 508-862-4925, and I want to thank Robin and Ellen and all the employees in the various departments that helped resolve each and every call that comes in.
You can view the entire meeting online at town.barnstable.ma.us. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.